The black church. We're going to go in on the black church. But first of all, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rikah Kadash. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shah being the name of His only begotten Son, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Now the scriptures talks about the black church in many prophecies, but the average member of the black church have no idea that this is in the Bible. And this is the one of the greatest secrets of the black church, that they are all through the Bible and they don't even understand it and know it. Now, what makes up the black church is the black pastors. See, these black pastors, these black preachers, the so-called black preachers and the so-called black pastors. This is what makes up the black church, because this is who the so-called black people follow. See, using that derogatory word black to describe themselves. Now let's go into the scriptures and pull out these prophecies about the so-called black church. Okay. Now when you go into let's see, Jeremiah and Isaiah, they give some major prophecies about this so-called black church. Now I'm gonna start with chapter 9 and 16. It says, "For the leaders of this people cause them to error, and they that are led of them are destroyed." So the leaders of this so-called black church, see, they the one causing them to be led astray. See, these so-called black pastors is the reason that the people are being led astray and are being destroyed. You got a so-called black church on every corner destroying the people. See, touching people, children, doing all kind of abomination, not preaching the scriptures, preaching their own vain opinion about the scriptures in the Bible. See, using the politics of their oppressors. See, pushing the politics of their oppressors, pushing their Democrat, Republican philosophies and stuff. This is what's going on in the so-called black church. That's on almost every corner in the neighborhood, especially in the ghetto. It says, "For the leaders of this people cause them to error, and they that are led of them are destroyed." Okay. Then you go into let's see here. So it caused them to err on at Jeremiah 23. It's talking about these pastors. Verse 1, it says, "Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, says the Lord." Okay, these pastors is the ones that's scattering the sheep and destroying the sheep of the Lord. See, feeding them a bunch of lies, feeding them a bunch of abominations, pretty much. Now, it was another one I wanted. it talks about how these people pretty much keep the people unclean. Let me look that up. It's a clean and unclean. It's in Jeremiah. See if I can run into that. Or is it in Ezekiel? Ezekiel I'm thinking about. This is Ezekiel 22 and 26. It said her priests, meaning these pastors, these so-called preachers in the so-called black church, said her priests have violated my law and have profaned my holy things. They have put no difference between the holy and the profane, neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean. And they hid their eyes from my Sabbath, and I am profane among them. This is how the people are being led astray and destroyed, because they are violating the Lord's laws. They following their slave master who's telling them that they ain't got to keep no laws. See, that it's no difference between the clean animals and the unclean animals. Whatever you put in your mouth is good with the Lord. Just pray to the Lord. See, don't serve the Lord 24 hours for one day total. See, you can serve him every day. But they ain't never gonna dedicate 24 hours to the Lord. Because that's what that Sabbath day is doing. You dedicating 24 hours to the Lord. But they want to talk about, we go to church on Sunday for 3 hours, for 2 hours. See, that ain't nothing, man. You got to dedicate 24 hours to the Lord. Sun up to sun down. See, but they not doing none of this, and this is how the people are being destroyed in these so-called black churches. This is and this is why when you go in their neighborhood, all heck is breaking loose. Here in this Hosea 4 and 6, it say, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Okay, what is the knowledge that they lacking? Let's get I'm gonna come back to that. Let me get Malachi 2 and 7. What these pastors are supposed to be giving the people. It say, for the priest's lips should keep knowledge. So it's the leaders of the black church, the black pastors, they ain't keeping no knowledge. That's why the people are destroyed, for the lack of knowledge, because the preachers ain't giving them the knowledge. And what is the knowledge that they should be giving them? With Ezekiel 22 and 26 it was focused dead on the black church. It says, and they should seek the law at his mouth. So the knowledge that the people don't got is the law. For he is the messenger of the Yahweh of armies. See, this is what they don't. This is why the people are destroyed, because they not getting the law at the priest's mouth. See, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because you have rejected knowledge. See, they reject the law. I will also reject you, that you should be no priest to me, seeing you have forgotten the law of your God, or your God. I will also forget your children. This is why when you go into the so-called black neighborhood, you seeing what's going on in verse 2. It says, by swearing, lying, and killing, and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood touches blood. Therefore shall the land mourn. Bunch of mourning going on in the hood. See, because they ain't keeping no laws of God. They rejecting God's laws, rejecting his commandments. See, when he command you to do something, you rejecting that and say, nope, my slave master and oppressor said I can do whatever I want to do. He said that it's a doctrine of you do whatever you want to do. And let's go address that. See, they slave master take them to Romans 8. It says, 8 verse 1. It says, there is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Mashiach Yahushua, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. See, they'll tell them, hey, ain't no condemnation. You can't condemn as long as you believe. See, this is the crap that these oppressors is telling them. And the black pastors go to their seminary schools and push this crap right to the people. Look at verse 4. It says, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. So they trying to say, oh, the law is fulfilled as long as you believe in Jesus. You ain't got to worry about no laws and stuff. But look at verse 7. Cut their whole head off. It says, because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, for it is not subject to the law of the Most High, neither indeed can it be. So no, the flesh and the carnal mind that they got is not subject to the law. You don't got to do no law. See, because you dealing with a carnal mind. But look at verse 6. He going backwards to make it clear. It says, for to be carnal minded is death. See, you gonna die if you gonna talk about, oh, I don't want to keep the laws of God. The laws of God, we don't have to do that no more. See, that's a mind that is gonna mean death, and the oppressor is the one pushing that crap. It says, but the spiritual minded is life and peace, because the spiritual minded person is going to keep the law of God. The spiritual minded person is subject under the law of God. See, the spiritual minded person is under the law. We not under the law no more. Jesus died, and then we don't got to be under the law no more. See, this is what the oppressor done told these Negroes in the so-called black church. See, and I'm speaking their language when I say so-called black church, because they want to live in that mindset. But we see what the scriptures say what's going on with them, because they all up through him. Now let's see why these pastors is pushing this crap. Even when the certified truth done came out, this is why they ain't changed their tune, not now bit. The freaking oppressor is omitting the truth. They coming out with the truth more than these wicked behind pastors. Verse 26, it say, for among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait, and he that set snares, they set a trap, they catch men. See, they willing to set a trap, see, for the people that's coming up in that church. As a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore they are become great and waxing rich. And see, this is what the Lord called these places that these wicked pastors is reigning over. Let's get that. Because their houses are full of deceit, because they getting paid. This Jeremiah, oh, this is the same chapter. This is just going up above, because I'm in 25, so right above it, it explains these houses. Verse 7, it says, how shall I pardon you for this? Your children have forsaken me and sworn by them that I know God. See, they ain't not swearing. They swearing in the name of the pig, the earth pig. In the name of the earth pig. See, because that's all that name that they calling out, that's what it means. The earth pig. In the name of the earth pig, when I fled from them to the full, they then committed adultery and assembled themselves by troops in the harlot houses. This is where these black churches on every corner. They just the harlot houses. Because guess what? The law is done away with in that church. And they'll tell you, like one of these pastors talking about, don't, if somebody's sinning, God gave you grace, so you get closer to that sinner. You don't condemn the sinner. You don't try to judge the sinner. You get closer to him. Draw him closer to you. Show him more love. Show more love to the sinner. See? More love to the murderer, the child molester, the adultery, committing adultery, fornicator. Show more love to him. Don't condemn him and judge him and try to correct them. See, don't try to help them get away from the sin. You show them more love. This is the crap that's going on in the harlot houses. That's why when you go to was it 2 Timothy or 1 Timothy? Let's try 2 Timothy. Yeah, 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter, verse 6. It says, for of this sort are they which creep into houses, see, and led captive silly women laden with sin. See, they're gonna draw all the harlots and whore and these black women. See, this is the title that they want to call themselves. They're gonna draw all the black women to them, led away with diverse lusts. See. And they gonna be in there acting like they got a wife, but they sleeping with the black women and the black young boys, and they sleeping with everybody in the church, because it ain't no law telling you that you can't do these things. See, only thing you got to do is be swearing, talking about in the name of the earth pig. See, in the name of the earth pig, I rebuke you and all this crap. This is what's going on in the so-called black church. Look at verse 7. They'll go up in there and open up the Bible. It say, especially like the Jehovah Witness. See, they'll go and open up that Bible, but they ain't telling you to keep no laws now. It says, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. See, because you ain't gonna come to the knowledge of the truth because the pastor ain't teaching the knowledge of the truth. See, because first of all, he ain't giving you that law, but let's see what the truth is. See, you ain't never gonna come to the knowledge of the truth because they ain't never teaching you the knowledge of the truth. They teaching you about a name and to talk about an earth pig and sing to an earth pig all day long. Now, when you go into what is this? 19? Is it 140 something? Psalms 119 and 142, it says, your righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, meaning ain't no pastor can tell you that this law is going to be done away with. That's a lie. It's an everlasting righteousness. It's going to be forever the right thing to do. It says, and your law is the truth. See, the law is the truth. Not a wicked pastor. Not you just got to call on a name. Not the Lord done died because he the only one that could do the law. And now you ain't got to worry about doing the law. He did it for you. And you just be running around and be wicked. Just get on your knees at night and pray and hope for the best. See, this is what they do in these wicked behind churches, man. These harlot houses. These houses ran by these wicked pastors that done got paid off by the freaking slave master, like Judas Iscariot get paid 30 pieces of silver, man. Let's get Isaiah 56. 10, it says, his watchmen are blind. See, his, the oppressor. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. See, they ain't finna bark and warn the darn people of danger. And sin is death. Having a carnal mind is death. See, not following the laws of God gonna mean death for your behind. And they not gonna warn you about these things because what? He getting paid not to. Verse 11, yeah, they are greedy dogs which can never have enough, and they are shepherds that cannot understand. They look after their own way, everyone for his gain and from his quarter. This is what they looking after. They ain't looking after the sheep to try to keep them from sin and death, because sin is going, you not following them laws gonna get you death, man. You think he gonna be a murderer around here, and them people gonna shoot you down in the street, shoot you like a dog in the street. That's why we seeing a lot of these shootings, because them folks a bunch of murderers and fornicators, and he got the license to blow their head off. Now let me see here. Micah, you got Micah 3 and 11. They say the heads thereof judge for reward. See, they only want to be in these people's churches and go get that little preacher license so they can go and make some money without getting a real job. You can just go and tell a bunch of lies and sing and dance in a freaking harlot house. It says, and the priests teach for hire, and the prophets divine the prophets thereof divine for money. See, they up in there getting paid by the small hats, the tiny hat peoples, so they can push this Christianity and keep the identity lost and keep the people lost in the sauce. See, that's why the Lord had to come for the lost sheep, because these people pay these Negroes, pay these Judas Iscariots to keep them blind. It said, yet will they lean upon the Lord and say, is not the Lord among us? None evil can come upon us. See, they really thinking just because they up in that church, up in that harlot house, and they got a Bible talking about the Lord and the earth pig. See, that they gonna get some kind of relief from evil. But all they in their neighborhood and all of their children is going through bad times. That's what evil means. They going through horrendous bad times, man. Murder, lying, adultery on a whole nother level, and bragging about it. That's why you got a drill culture in the black neighborhood. Drill music in the black neighborhood. Singing and dancing about killing people, man. This is what's going on in the black neighborhood due to the black church and the black pastor. A bunch of harlot running a bunch of harlot houses with a bunch of harlots in it, man. Got 4 and 5 baby daddies up in the church, sleeping with the pastor. Now, what's another one? Cause they getting paid. Let me get that Maccabees. Maccabees 1 and 11. It says, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men. So that's the wicked men that's getting paid in Jeremiah 5. These men of Israel. See, they getting paid to go and tell they people a bunch of lies. It said, who persuaded many. That's what they doing. They persuading these lost sheep of the house of Israel to be up in them churches, living a wicked life, telling a bunch of lies, saying, let us go make a covenant with the heathen round about us. So that's the first thing come out of their mouth. I'm a Christian, and why you got what about the so-called heathen? Can the heathen be saved with us? Can they be with us? See, the Israelites always want to go and worship the gods with the heathen. Be with the heathens and worship gods, they gods and all this crap, so they can hang out with the heathen. It said, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. See, it make them feel some type of way that they can't be all hugged up with the heathen. And the Lord already saw that spirit in Babel, when in the Tower of Babel. See, they want to have that spirit. We all gonna be one. This oneness crap. And the Lord divided the nation, and He didn't want them to be no one. This is not what He designed. Now, I want to get another one on these wicked behind pastors, man. So they made a covenant with devil. What that Isaiah 28. 15, it says, because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. See, this is what they doing. And when you go into Habakkuk, let's see what that death and hell is. This verse, I'll get 4 and 5 to get the context. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. It's talking about it's going to be pretty much an adversary of God, a man that has a soul, see, and he going to be the leader. He going to be the leading nation on the earth. See, he going to be the slave master. He going to be the authority. He going to be Caesar on the scene. See, but the just shall live by his faith. He going to live by these scriptures. Verse 5, it says, yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death. See, it's a man on the earth that's a proud man, and he is as death. And the so-called black pastors is going to make a covenant with him. See, that's why they have that FBI faith-based initiative rant that was pushed by George Bush and these politicians. Same thing with Donald Trump. They pushing this church. Don't talk about politics. 501c3. All these pastors be having a 501c3. These religions, because we don't want to talk about politics. See, we want to stay telling the lies and the doctrine of the Catholic Church, who whitewashed the whole operation and tried to keep everything off identity, ran with the color of people's skin, talking about a color and a language. We gonna talk about that more than the true identities of the people. We gonna talk about Babylon. We gonna keep everything focused on these these identities, vague identity. Call people by landmass. See, we ain't gonna try to focus on who is these people that's running Babylon. Who is these people that's running Egypt? Who is these people that's running Assyria? See, we ain't gonna go into the nationality of the people. We just gonna sweep over stuff and talk about stuff vaguely. Who was the Romans? We're not going to dig into the scriptures and show who was these people. That's why you got Romans 9 and 13. The Lord had to get drastic with them and tell them straight up, the ruling power in the end is going to be the Edomites. This Romans 9 and 13, it says, and as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. See, the so-called white man is going to be ruling the earth in the last days. Verse 17, it says, for the scripture said unto Pharaoh, even for this purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee. See, why? Because he going to destroy they behind, just like he destroyed the Egyptians. It says, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. See, they going to have an empire and be ruling like the Egyptians was ruling, due to them having the Israelites as slaves. That's why in verse 12 is guaranteeing that they're going to have to pay for having the Israelites as slaves. said, it was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. So you're gonna have the younger serving you, and I'm gonna raise you up so that the younger can serve you. But at the end of the day, you gonna be destroyed. You gonna have to your kingdom gonna be destroyed, and I'm gonna show my power in destroying your kingdom, and you gonna have to serve your younger brother, the Israelites. See, and this is why the Lord put that on Paul, to put it in Romans 9. And in Romans 9 and 4, let you know everything is for the Israelites. The hope of the future kingdom of heaven is for the Israelites. See, the adoption, the glory, the covenants, the giving of the law, the service of God, and the promises. The promises wasn't promised to no freaking Edomites, Ammonites, Jephusites, nobody but the Israelites, the children of Jacob. See, and the children of Jacob would be in servitude to the Edomites in the last day. See, this is what's going on. And that black church is the Israelites. See, in a what you call it, a state of hell, pretty much. Let's get that in Isaiah. What is it? Isaiah 14 or 13. Might be 13. No, I think it's Isaiah 5. 13. There it is. It said, therefore my people are gone into captivity, because they have no knowledge. See, there you go with the knowledge. The pastor's going to be paid off, and they ain't going to be preaching no knowledge to the people. And their honorable men are famished, and their multitude are dried up with thirst. Therefore hell shall enlarge itself. That's going on too with Esau. Is the so-called white man going to enlarge himself and consumes and swallow up the Israelites into slavery. But this is what the condition that the Israelites going to be in. Hell in the last day. And open her mouth without measure, and their glory, their multitude, their pomp, and he that rejoice shall descend into it. So all of the glory that the Israelites is waiting on, they going to be waiting on this thing in captivity. That's why you say the hope and the promises is for the Israelites that is in captivity or in hell, waiting on that glory to come, waiting on the promises of that glory to come. Not no Christian church, not no black Christian church. That is a bold-faced lie, and it's a abomination in the eyes of God. It's a harlot house. Bunch of harlot houses in the so-called black neighborhood, which they ain't got no black neighborhood, just the slave quarters that the Edomite slave master keep them in. But I just want to bring that out. I'm going to leave it there. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rekakadash. Double honors to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the descendants of slaves scattered around the globe on slave ships and through many captivities. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.